Today we will be learning how to divide polynomials by the long division method. First, what I like to do is to take x, which is the bottom, x plus 2, and put it right here on the side. X plus 2, and put the long division sign. And what I do from here is I take the top, which is 5x cubed plus 6x squared minus 28x minus 2. Oh, I should have made room. Let me erase this out the way. Since we already have that, we know we were working with, so I can erase this to make more room, because I'm going to put stuff at the top. What I do from here, I take x and try to find out how many times x can go to 5x squared. And that will be, this is simple math. This is, imagine a 1 right here. And I put a 5. And I put an x squared. So when I multiply these two, it would get 5x cubed. So multiply these two. I put it at the bottom, right here. That's what it multiplies. And the 2, I multiply these two with the 5, because what you do with the first one, you do with the second. And that equals 10x squared. What I do from here, I put an equal sign. After that, you have to switch the signs. What I do is I put parentheses. It's whatever easy for you. I put parentheses, put a negative right here. And a negative times a positive is a negative. So I erase it. I put a negative. So 5x cubed minus 5x cubed cancels out. So I put a line through it. After that, I add up these two, and it will equal up to negative 16 squared. Okay, we have that. This is canceled. Now we can move this down. We have one step out the way. We can move this down right here. That's what I do. I like to put an arrow down to keep track of myself, just to be organized. 28x, and you do the same thing. It's just repeating. So that's multiply x to get 16x squared, and that would be, this is 1. This is easy, so this is 1. So it would be negative 16. 16 times 1 equals 16. Don't forget the x right here, because x times x equals x squared. So 1 times x times 16x equals negative 16x right here. And it's repeating. So now this is how we multiply on the other one. This is how we multiply 2 and 5x squared. We multiply 2 and negative 16x. And that is 32x, negative 32x. So right here, like I said, we switch the signs. Right here, I like to put a negative. So a negative times a negative is a positive. So this would equal to a positive. A negative times a negative equals a positive. So this will equal to a positive. So right here, this cancels out. Right here, it's equals 0. So we cancel it. Right now, what we 32 minus 28 is 4. Don't forget the x right here. X. So now it's time to bring down the 2. Always go back and double check right here. Make sure it's negative 2. So you just don't want to put 2. You want to focus on the whole thing. Negative 2. So we do the same thing. So how many times x can go into 4? 4x, and that's 4. 4. And check that. X times 4 equals 4x. Put it right here. 2. 2 times 4 equals 8. Plus 8. Remember, I like to put parentheses, equal sign right here. And let me work up here, running out of room. So this would be like to put a negative right here. So a negative times a positive equals a negative. So this is a negative. This cancels out. A negative times a positive equals a negative. So this would be a negative, and we would get negative 10. So that's the remainder. This is a remainder. So what you do is you write, this is the answer up here with your remainder. So you write 5x squared minus 16x plus 4 minus 10, because that's your remainder. And you will put this right here, which is x plus 2, under this. And that would be your answer. Right there. Always go back and double check. Even myself, I made mistakes on not going back and checking my x's, checking if it's positive or negative. So always go back. So that was the hardest one we're gonna do. These right here are fairly simple. So just to backtrack from what we did, I'm gonna move a little faster since you get the concept. So remember what I did is I put right here. Let's move over. Okay, I'll do it and I'll erase it. I put this right here. Boom. Long division sign. And x squared plus 6x plus 5. This is simple. This one is simple. We did the hardest one the first time. So you try to find, first step is you try to get x squared. So x squared is x, because x plus x, or x times x equals x squared. So x squared. Then you would do 1 times x, and that's 1x. Parentheses, you always want to flip the signs. I like to put the negative right here. Some people do it different, like I said. Then a negative times a positive is a negative, so this will be a negative right here, which will cancel out. Negative times a positive equals a negative, so this would be a negative right here. So you minus 6 minus 1 is 5. Don't forget the x. Bring this down. Plus 5. So same thing. How many times x can go into 5? 5x. And that's 5. 5 right here. So x times 5 equals 5x. 1 times 5 equals 5. Parentheses. Sorry, getting a little sloppy here. So this will cancel because it's a negative. And this would be a negative right here, so that will cancel. So as you can see, is no remainder. Both of these cancel, so it would just be right here at the top. This would be the answer, x plus 5 right here. Simple.